What is going on, Zinger Nation? How you guys doing today? My name is Rozbiani. I'm your host for this one today. Welcome back to After Hours. We're here usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about the after hours. Talk about how the markets are doing today. We cover the indices, then we jump into some hot stocks, or now cryptos too, that were kind of being talked about and thrown around during the day. And then part 3 of the show, my favorite one is I interact with you, the audience. You can throw tickers into the chat. We'll talk about them in the show. We'll bring them up, we'll discuss them, and we'll do some technical analysis as best as we can. We'll see where the charts are taking us. So without further ado, as always, we're going to start off with SPY. Don't worry, we'll come back to Bitcoin. I was looking at it a little bit earlier to prepare myself. So we got to talk about SPY. SPY is doing very well. Last time we spoke, last Thursday, we were dealing with the whole situation with the Fed rates and all that other stuff that was going on. So a lot of fear was in the markets. So we saw a dip. And again, if you remember the show, we said we might test this 50 and 21 MA, and we did. We came down and closed lower. But thankfully, we were able to recover these past 2 days very well. We had a 1.43% day and then a 0.5% day. After hours were doing well. This thing is chugging along. What's the highest SPY was? Let me take a look. I think we might break an all-time high sometime either this week or next week. 52-week is 425.46. I think we can get there. I think it's within range because of this. So let me show you this. So Apple is one of the biggest holdings within the S&P 500, which SPY parallels. And if you take a look at Apple, Apple's been fighting back very, very well. Take a look at this. It's just been chugging. We're finally done trading sideways for this time period. We were just either going down or trading sideways for a while. So that's kind of done now. So that's a good thing. And now we're sort of chugging up, and this kind of helps SPY go. And SPY was doing fairly well even during this trading sideways process when its biggest holding was kind of just sitting on the sidelines. So I think it's doing fairly well. No big deal. I mean, it's a big help for the S&P 500 to see Apple chugging along. Another big player within the S&P 500 is also Tesla. Believe it or not, Tesla plays a role in this. Now, Tesla is still trading sideways, but imagine now Tesla wakes up one morning and goes, all right, we're ramping up their starships and we're going to the moon. That would help SPY even more. So let's take a look at it and see where we could be going out. I did I tried to play a SPY put a few days ago, to be yesterday actually, I think it was. And I stopped out because the markets were just healthy. They were doing well. They were doing good. And thankfully, I was wrong. I prefer to be wrong. I use puts to hedge. So it's like, if my portfolio is going to go red unrealized, I'm like, all right, let me buy a few SPY contract puts to be able to kind of hedge this thing, to be able to make some money and go green, and then use that capital elsewhere and have a little allocation of cash that I like to use for puts just when things get ugly, or if I want to just play both sides of the market. And I'll teach you how to do that throughout this process. Maybe one day we'll discuss hedging a little bit more. If we have time today, we'll do that. We got light viewership, so we could probably go into there and discuss that a bit more for sure. So let's jump into, so SPY essentially is doing well. Look at that strong RSI. MACD wants to go up. So if we have enough volume and enough juice the next few days, we could. Again, less volume these past 2 days again, but not too bad. I mean, I prefer volume in flat, but if you look at the average that we have here, it's around this line. So we're still above the quote unquote average area of volume that we usually get, but that's all right, no biggie. So it's chugging along, it's doing its thing. So SPY is having its fun here. So I do want to take a look at it on the 30-minute time frame just to get a better look at where we're going in the short term. Look, it had its massive valley here. It's chugged its way back up. It's fighting up. It's going to see some resistance here. That's how it is. It's gonna have to fight some resistance in these areas around the 242s, or I'm sorry, around the 224s. Imagine we were at 242s, we'd be whistling. We would all be so happy. The 401ks, the IRAs would all be just chugging. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. So it's doing its thing, man. It's chugging along. It's chugging away. We'll need a little bit of juice and a little bit of FUD elimination to get here, because they're meeting with Congress. The Fed is meeting with Congress. This is happening. So there's a little bit of FUD in the air, even though we're seeing green. So people are scared, but that's okay. Justifiably so. Better to be safe than sorry, as they say, right? So let's go to QQQ. QQQ parallels the NASDAQ, which broke a record today. I'm happy because, let's go directly to the actual NASDAQ. Why not? Let's see. You know what? No, I'll just do QQQ just because that's how we do it. We have some drawings there on the charts, or I think we do, at least last I remembered. Yep, we have our little support line here. We could possibly, we might get a little bit cocky here, but let's see. What if this is forming to be our new support line here? Well, and I keep forgetting that TradeView just goes, hey, we're going to keep drawing. We're not going to take you back to cursor after you stop drawing. It stays in drawing mode, which is fair. It's fine. So it ramped up, and it's been doing well. It's been doing very, very well. So I just want to make sure that, yep, we hit a 52-week high today. We had to double check that because you never know. I don't want to be wrong. So it's ramping up, and this isn't slowing down. This is why, like, for example, when tech hits lows, I like to scoop it up for cheap because I know, like, tech makes a comeback. NASDAQ and QQQ are made up a lot of tech stocks. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to ramp this up, and I'll use tech to kind of good swings, easier swings to do, whatever. So it's doing its thing. It's chugging along, man. It's got its support line here, and now it's moving. So we got our support line here. It's having fun. We're doing well. Let's take a look at it on the 30-minute time interval. We should probably cool down a little bit towards tomorrow, or I could be wrong and we could just keep chugging, but I'm assuming we will probably cool down a little bit more, and then we'll make our way up and take it to the next step. So look at the support line that we just drew. You might be like, we just broke it, man. Look at this. We've broken it, but that's okay. It's weird. As long as you're closing above the support line, I think it's a good sign. Short term looks good too. Short term looks good. I can't deny it, man. QQQ is doing well. QQQ is doing very well. I got to give it to QQQ very well. All right. Next up are penny stocks, IWN, the Russell 2000. There's a lot of good stocks that are being added to the Russell 2000. So keep your eye on those. I know Mara is being added. There's a couple others. We can go to news and probably get like a list of them. Yep. Unfortunately, AMC will stay. Oh no, good. I thought I read that wrong. AMC will stay in the Russell 2000, skewing the top. Very good. Cool. AMC fans, it's not leaving. A lot of people were worried that AMC would get kicked out of the Russell 2000. It's not. Very good. AMC, GameStop's in there too. We got all the fun stocks are in there. I don't know. I like it. Why not? That's awesome. Let's go to not the calendar. Let's go to the charts. This one is interesting. We had kind of a rounding top here that happened, which I guess it's technically a rounding top. I don't know by definition. I got to refresh my definitions there, but it came down and now it's bouncing. If you look at SPY, if we just bounce back to SPY for 1 second. What does this look parallel to? It's parallel to SPY, down and then bounce. It looks like these guys are now moving together. It's weird. Sometimes they move in opposites. Sometimes they move together. It is what it is, right? You just play the game. It's doing well. It's doing strong. Small caps are not as strong as they were a few days ago. Like in the beginning of last week or 2 weeks ago, small caps are doing very well. So I guess from in that perspective, it's okay we can expect that this thing ramps up soon. Hopefully, I still believe that we're going to have a strong summer for penny stocks. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like the whole calendar shifted. Like usually in the beginning of the year, we get very good in penny stocks, and we did. January was good, but usually February, March to May, it's usually very good for the small cap penny stock plays from my personal experience. But that kind of shifted with what happened in the momentum shift. So just keeping that in mind, I'm going to set my expectations. I'm going to be okay with whatever happens. I'm going to play the game. You can still find good stocks amongst the quote-unquote rubble, even when there's red going on. Next, let's go to Bitcoin. We got to talk Bitcoin because the whole world is melting. Everyone's scared. What's going on with Bitcoin? Let's talk about it. So we broke the 200 moving average 2 days now. We're under the 200 moving average. Not good. I like to be above the 200 moving average. I like to be above the 50. I like to be above the 21. That's my personal opinion. That's how I like to do it. We have some signs of green here. We came down very low today to a low of 28,600. Very scary because it broke our other low that we had hit last time during the big flash dump of 29,257. So we had that drop, and that's fairly worrisome that we broke under the 200 moving average. I guess we closed above it. Did we close above it? Yeah, we closed above it today. Yesterday, we closed above the 200 moving. No, we didn't. We didn't close above the 200 moving average. 200 moving average was 34.6. We closed at 31.6. Okay, so we didn't close above it. That's unfortunate, but I don't think we're going to close above it today unless some miracle happens. But not good. Not good what happened here. It spiked up a little bit on the RSI again. Not a good sign. So we can draw some support and resistance levels here to see where we want to keep our eyes on this thing. Boom, boom, boom. Where are our lines? Horizontal ray. So we had one here. Actually, you know what I'll do? Actually, a flat line. flat horizontal line so that we can kind of see where things are going. Let's bring it to, we went to a low of, what was that? I'm sorry, 29.6. I'm sorry, 28.6. Let's go to 28.6. Zoom in a little bit. Good enough. 28.6 there, which is parallels support that we've had in the past, which is good. We've had support in this area in the past, so we don't want to break this support line. This is kind of like the quote-unquote master support before we go into the 20,000 area where everyone's talking about. Like, I hadn't looked at the chart enough to see this. I like it. I'm having fun with it, but now I see why people are saying 20K, because the next support level, well, next support levels would be around here, which is the 18s. I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. The next support level would be around the 21s. Okay, so you still have some support. I guess when people say 20s, that's okay. It makes sense. I got to give them credit there. But you still have some support here. So it's not like we're going to fall into the depths of like, oh my God, this is disgusting. This is bad. We're screwed. The bigger support, the bigger area that I'm worried about Bitcoin dropping into is if we go to something like the monthly chart. So if you recall, the last big run up for Bitcoin, the highest Bitcoin went was about 20,000, 19,697. So a lot of these bigger Bitcoiners, a lot of the bigger analysts on Bitcoin, the bigger names of Bitcoin say, if we come down and we break this former resistance level, which is now sort of, there's a support area here, which we drew earlier. It's in the middle of this huge candle in the middle of this month. The support was formed. That's going to be bad for Bitcoin. So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. And boom, 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 we could drop fairly harder. And then it can slowly maybe work its way back up. We'll have to definitely see how that all plays out. But we'll definitely have to see where it goes. I mean, it is what it is. It's you got to let it play out. These things are highly volatile plays. Just let it do its thing, and you'll find it'll maybe find its way back up, or it'll come back down and test lower lows. You come back down and you test a low of 17, and then low of, what is it down here, 4K. You could come down that low. That's the thing, is there's the very few institutional support to be able to set up a core base of this. And one of the bigger names in Bitcoin, which is Elon Musk, is not a big fan of it. So when you got bigger names like that, like it's like Elon came in and he made this huge run up, and a lot of Elon bought around the 34 area, was announced when he was like in the 40s, caused this massive ramp up. A lot of confidence came into it because it's like, hey, what's going on? Like you bought this, you have confidence in it. You got the biggest, supposedly the smartest guy in the world, induces a lot of confidence into it and just kind of runs it up. So it's like, all right, cool. We have confidence in this coin. So other people came in and bought. You had a lot of retail came in. Like if Coinbase put out their Q1 earnings, they was saying they have a lot of retail. I think 80% of their transactions, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, is retail. So, and then like 20%, a little bit under 20% is institutional. So it's worrisome because retail's fight or flight kicks in, and retail wants to protect their capital because unlike institutions, it's not infinitesimal wells of capital that they are dealing with. So flight kicks in, and it's fair. You want to protect your capital. Like a lot of retail investors aren't millionaires and billionaires, contrary to what you see on Twitter, right? It's like, what's going on here? Like, where'd my money go? It's like, poof, you just wake up one day, Elon Musk tweets and you drop massively. Like, what is this? Where are we now from the top? If we kind of take the top here and we kind of see where we've gone, we're down what? We're down over 55%. That's a big drop. And that's not easy to see. It's like, imagine you have $1 and I take 50 cents away from you. You're not going to feel it. But imagine you've got a ton of money in this asset that some huge famous celebrity, inventor, entrepreneur puts his confidence into and puts his company's balance sheet on. That's like, everyone thought like, hey, we're going to go to the promised land. And I was like, this is awesome. I was excited because for me, I was buying Bitcoin here. Like, this is the area where I started first buying Bitcoin. And then this massive crash happened, and hope was gone for Bitcoin during this time. Like, no one, I still kept it. I didn't sell it because I still follow the same philosophy of only invest what you can't afford to lose. And to me, it was like, Or I'll hold on to it if it picks up one day. It picks up one day, and maybe I'll take profits, maybe depending on where it is. And of course, I had opportunity to take profits here. I had opportunity to take profits here. And for me, it's a buy and hold and have fun with kind of an investment, in quotes, not an actual investment, but in quotes. But I don't know, man. I still believe in crypto personally. I still believe that digital currencies will come around. I still think like things like the Ripple network are very powerful. I'm not pumping XRP. It's still like I'm in New York. I can't buy it even if I wanted to. So I don't own any XRP because I'm geofenced. So you're not allowed to buy it in New York for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't look into it. It's just the laws. If you can't do it, what am I going to do? I can't go out there and fight it. But we're geofenced. But to me, I think crypto, it went up too much too fast, Bitcoin, and that was again due to the Elon, the big Elon jumps that were kind of caused here, and a lot of hype and a lot of excitement because you want to be part of the next thing. Imagine you were the first group of people who were like being handed printed U.S. dollars versus coins and pebbles and shells and gold and all this other stuff. You want to be a part of that. You want to be a part of this new upbringing and uprising or whatever you want to call it. So you take it where you can, and then it is what it is. I mean, it's unfortunate now. I do think that we'll probably, I don't know, there's a lot of negative sentiment. There's a lot of negative sentiment out there now from retail. Retail's scared. A lot of people are worried, and rightfully so. It's your money, man. It's like people are worried when these things go red. It's like the folks who can afford to hodl will hodl. Like I haven't sold it. I've never sold crypto. I think the only time I ever sold crypto was when I had to sell XRP because we got geofence. It was like, hey, this thing's going to get geofence on X date, and we didn't know if we could buy or sell anymore. And then we found out we can't buy, but you can sell. But if there's only selling pressure, we saw what happened with GameStop. This is like a version of GameStop before that. It was like, hey, what can we go? What can we do? Like, what happens now? You can only sell. So when there's a selling, like the door's open to sell, but no one's coming in to buy, volume drops, and then thing gets wiped out. Is it another story stock that cannot hold that high? Ronnie, that's a really good question. So I don't know. I don't think Bitcoin is one of those story stocks because take a look at it here. It's not the first time it's done this. It's very different than, for example, like story stocks. I'm assuming you're referring to like GameStops, AMCs, BlackBerry, Nokias, those momentum plays that we all talk about. I don't think so. I don't think Bitcoin's done because even during this whole thing, it was exciting. We all had like price targets. All right, we're going to go to 65 next, 70, 75, 100K by the end of the year. That was a big thing you'd hear from everyone. It's like 100K by the end of the year, 100K by the end of the year. ETF's coming, XYZ's coming. I don't know. It's truly like, I don't think so because the difference that's here with Bitcoin is like, for example, what destroys a lot of story stocks is dilution. It's shorts. People can short Bitcoin. That's fine. But the thing with Bitcoin is I don't think the story's over here yet because Bitcoin's much bigger than a quote unquote story stock. It's been here much longer. Doge, yeah, Doge. I gotta say, like, I like the technology behind Doge. I can't pull up Doge's chart on Benzinga. I don't know if Mitch said that they're working on it. I don't know if it's here yet. Not here yet. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, no, we don't have Doge yet. It'll be here soon. Doge was different. Doge was the peak of a quote unquote pump and dump by Elon Musk because everyone was excited. This is the thing with these quote unquote story stocks. I'll call them story stocks. I won't call them pump and dump. And I don't think Bitcoin is one, and I don't think Doge is one either. I think Doge will eventually one day return to its highs and then supersede those highs again, and then come back down, and then over time supersede those highs. It's a matter of the timeline, because take a look at this timeline here. If you bought, let's say in October of 2017, and then you kept buying on the way up, right? You dollar cost averaged in on the way up. Let's say you followed all the rules of investing properly and you treated this like something else, and you dollar cost averaged in on the way up, and like, man, poof, we just fell hard. Poof, we fell again. Oh, we're going up. All right, 10K again, baby. We did it. 10K, 13K, 14K. Poof, we fell down. Then you had the March 2020 massive dump. You're down to $4,000 a coin. No one would have thought that. And then you had people shoveling that stuff in, right, at 4,000. That's why it gained the momentum back, and then Bitcoin became this next thing, and then quote unquote stimulus checks came in, and people were like, "All right, we got to buy. Let's buy Bitcoin. Crypto's on the rise," and boom, you had these massive stair steps up. Now this is a weekly chart, but this is a massive growth for anything. Look at this. This is virtually no red candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, barely 5, 6 weeks. 6 weeks of red. That's it from this point, from this run up. That's it, and they're not even like bad red, they're like flat red. This is the only one that's lower, but you recovered back in 2 weeks. You superseded in all-time highs. It's like hitting all-time highs every single week, just like bam, 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 bam. It's like, all right, cool, but at what point do you cool off? At what point do these legacy Bitcoin investors who bought at 4,000 now take profits? And then you have the introduction of FUD. You have the introduction of Elon Musk. You have the introduction of Janet Yellen saying, hey, we're going to do regulations. Then you have the introduction of, oh, we're going to tax it. There was some silly rumor that was spread out where it was like, they're going to tax a crypto at 80%, which now it came out and said, no, we're just going to tax it like everything else. So who started that rumor? What was the point of that FUD? So you have to be able to churn it out. Now, always do whatever is best for you. Like, this is a highly volatile asset. This is going to fluctuate. This will continue to happen till the end of time for Bitcoin until we get ETFs. Why are ETFs so important for Bitcoin is you have a bunch of people coming in. I've got the word just like Doge on the screen. You have things like ETFs where people will come in and buy lump sums of this coin, which you can only produce 900 of a day. Now, next halving, we go to 450. And you stabilize the price. That's why everyone was so gung-ho about the Bitcoin ETF, because the Bitcoin ETF would stabilize the volatility in the price. Because now, let's say there's I think there's 18.6 million Bitcoins around the world, right now. There's a bunch, that were lost. There's a bunch that's yet to be mined. It's only a population of 21 million coins ever to be created. All will be mined by 2050. That's the whole theory behind it mathematically by people that were done it. Much smarter than me. I don't know how to even do that math. But it's like once that ETF happens, you would see it wouldn't just be one, it's always multiple. Like, for example, Grayscale would have converted to an ETF. Like, take a look at Grayscale. They've got assets under management of Bitcoin. They just bought and hold. You've got people like Michael Saylor who've bought and hold. Now, I think for him, he's buying and holding for when an ETF happens so he could sell to the ETF as a transfer. But again, you're going to need more ETFs to be able to come around. Then people buy in. They're going to have to expand their assets under management as money inflows in, kind of like how ARK Fund does. Money inflows in, they go out and buy stocks. Money outflows, okay, we have to sell some stocks so we could buy some of our other higher conviction stocks. I think that's the whole thesis behind like an ETF. Let me see, what time is it? There we go. We're at the halfway point of the show. So let's go. Let's get some of your questions in. Let's get some of your stocks in. Let's discuss some of them. So I hope that covered it. And if there's any questions about, I'll leave like the last 10 minutes of the show and we'll come back and take a look at Bitcoin one more time. Let's pull it up right now on something like a 30-minute chart here so you can kind of see where it is. You can see here like it's fluxing, but this happened. You have whales that come in and buy down here, like whales, retail. People come in and buy because they see opportunities here. That's why there's a bounce. That's why there's a hard bounce on these places, because people are buying. You don't see, if there's people selling, you see a drop. If people are buying, you see a bounce, and that's okay. And I don't know, personally, I still like the idea of crypto a lot. I'm still going to look for new projects. Like, I'm reading a lot about Cardano now. I bought a little bit. I'm looking to buy more eventually, but I need to. These projects each have their own white papers behind them. They have to read them, and then they're all their own things. So we'll discuss crypto more. I want to discuss Michael Martin's question on Boeing. Let's throw that ticker up. Remind me also to talk about Arrival too. We discussed it last week. I want to touch back on it too. But right now, let's go to Boeing. Boeing's got a soft spot for me personally because it was one of the first ones that I bought. First stock that I bought during the COVID situation. When the COVID crash was happening now it's 2 Marches ago. Can you believe how fast time flies? That was one of the first ones I bought. I was like, all right, airplanes aren't going anywhere. Like, these things are still going to happen. Yeah, travel will be suspended. We'll eventually get over this. So I bought Boeing, and it's done very well for me. But let's see how Boeing is doing now. Give me these indicators. So you've got a bit of a rounding top happening here, but again, I don't think by technical definition that's an official rounding top officially. So I can't analyze it like that. Is this? No. So they had a very good day yesterday, 3.34% day. Let's see if there's any news that caused the movement. Monday, Cisco down. Nothing wild. Boeing realty income sees recent volatility. Boeing and Cisco lead the Dow Jones higher Monday. Here we go. Boeing's Max, the 737 Max orders rise further. That's good. They're buying planes. People are updating their fleets. Boeing shares quiet amid the report that U.S. has opened $500 million victim compensation program for relatives of 346 people killed in the fatal. Okay, I mean, I don't know how that. All right, I'll skip that topic. So we have some options activity, some calls at 2:15. So some in the money calls. Here we go, some 240 calls. So these guys are making money. Whoever was buying these is making money right now. They're printing the tendies. Let's go to chart one more time. So again, a flat day, pretty much down 0.6. I don't think Boeing is done by any means. I think eventually Boeing will get back to its all-time highs. I think you have to realize one thing is this situation that we're in right now with COVID. There's a lot of people that are still frankly quite scared. There's a lot of countries where it's very hard to travel to and from countries. So planes aren't being used as much. There's not as much wear and tear. You got to realize airlines don't have the money for updating their fleets. Some of them do. You're seeing that happen in some airlines. The money's there to update their fleets. Some aren't. So it's just a matter of time personally. Short term, to me, if I'm just looking at this, like MACD's telling me, hey, we want to cross, but not yet. So I think there's a bit room to go lower. As you can see here, you're testing the 50 moving average. You almost tested it today with the low of 241. 50 moving average is at 240, so essentially a hair off. But it doesn't. This to me, it's a very hard stock to trade, in my opinion. Personally, as someone, I wouldn't day trade this, and first of all, it's way too expensive to be able to buy the amount of volume needed to do it. Again, for me personally, that's for myself. But like, how much could you get out of this? Like $2, $3 to day trade this? I guess it works if you have the volume, the capital to volume buy this, but it's taking a hit though. Take a look at this from June 8th, from the beginning of the month. It's come down. It's making its way back up. Getting back down. Hopefully, maybe this begins the next leg up. Maybe this begins the next leg up to make its way back up. But I think that we will see resistance. You're seeing resistance now, by the way. You're seeing the resistance points here now around this area. What is this? Around the 245 area. So you also have a new resistance formed here now, which is interesting. Around the 240, 244, 240. Yeah, around 245 is where your resistance points are sitting, which is unfortunate. Not unfortunate, but it needs volume. It needs something to get it up there. But volume's stagnant, which is okay. But again, to get these big bursts, these legs up, these massive moves, again, I think this is a higher float company too. Where is it? Yeah, $500 million float, almost a 0.6 billion of a float. So it needs some juice. It needs some juice to get up there. Don says you liking Palantir. Let's talk about Palantir. PLTR. Palantir Technology. I like this one long, but this is one of those. This is like Coinbase, in my opinion, where it's a stock that I forgot to discuss Coinbase. I wanted to discuss Coinbase with you guys a little bit too. I'll come back. I'll go to Coinbase next after this one. It's one of those. It's one of those kind of. It's kind of one of those stocks that a lot of people don't understand, and that's fair. I don't even truly understand what they really do. They're data processing for sure. I know that much, but like the intricacies, I don't think we're supposed to know. It's like this top secret government-based company that gets a bunch of government contracts. But if we look here, essentially, this red line is like, I don't even have to draw it. Like we're at resistance. Take a look at this area. We're at resistance right now. This $25 area, this $25, $26 area is resistance. The next level, you're on the 27s. It needs volume to get up there. Volume's been good. Volume's been coming in. We've been chugging. We hit the low in May and then worked our way up. The news of contracts helps this go up. This is a long-term stock, in my opinion. I love playing this on calls and puts. It's beautiful to play calls and puts intraday on this one because you can time it. Like, you know how it moves. You know it's got support down here in the 23, 24 area. You know it's got resistance at 25. So you buy your put. Yes, I'm sorry. yeah, you buy your put on your way down, and you buy your call. You know exactly where to position it. You can time it, day trade it. It's fairly simple. Like if you can catch the rhythm of the stock fairly well with this one. But long term, I think he can do well. I think, again, just like we were talking about Bitcoin's rise and like a lot of these other stocks, this rise was a bit premature for it to go all the way. It was like $50, $45. This was a little bit premature. I got to give it there. But again, to me, this makes sense to be in this. I know their financials aren't fantastic. I get that from the fundamental analysis people. Oh man, the way that X Cardic spelled thoughts made me laugh. I needed that today, man. Thank you. For that, we will definitely discuss MUDs. I like MUDs. Just long story short. So Palantir is going to need some love to get up there. It's going to need some juice. It'll probably you'll have some consolidation. You'll probably come back down, bounce off the 21, maybe go off, or you maybe come down and test the 50 again around the 23 area of support that we have, and then we jump up and we'll see where we go. So long story short, I like Palantir. I have a position in Palantir, full disclosure, but I also love playing calls and puts on it because it's a bit of a predictable one, and it's very hard to get caught on the wrong side of it. You just got to make sure, just watch the charts. You could probably play calls and puts very well on this one. Still, Richard says, still in Doge pretty much for the long run now, down big. Yeah, I feel you, man. A lot of people that were buying in that above like the 10 cent, 15 cent area are getting hit hard today. I don't even know what Doge is. I can't pull up the chart, but I think I can see the price here. Around 40 cents, not bad. Talk about a recovery. Hold on. Look, we got to do it. We got to go to Doge. I got to see the Doge price somehow. This thing was, oh, what? Okay, so disregard this price. I don't know how we saw that, but yikes. All right. Man, Doge was at 32 cents, low of 16 cents. We hit a low of 17.4, then hit a low of 16.9. That's funny. Just because it's 16. You guys are adults. You guys know what I mean. So around 17 cents is kind of where it's bouncing, which is good. You're building support. Now it's hard for me to. Okay, we can go to candle. I don't think I've ever used this website fully. Let me get the 1 year if that's even enough. So yeah, see like the perfect. Yeah, around the 16 cent area is a support for Doge right now. If we go as far back as, what is the date on this? April. And then your next layer of support, hold your breath, is 6 cents. And then you go back to the 5 cent area where there's master support in the 5 cent area. Then you got the 6.8 cent area. The point, I apologize, 0.06, 0.06, and then 16 cents. So if we break this, you're going probably support-wise down pretty low. Just, again, yeah. I got Doge. I'm holding it. I hold my cryptos. Again, I wish I would have kept my XRP. I wasn't forced to sell it, but that's just me. I say it would hold it, but it went through a high last year. Richard's asking, what are my thoughts on Eng? Eng I like. Eng is something that I talked to. Eng is a play that I worked with my Patreon members on a long time ago. Like, we played this run up. This run-up was awesome. This was a gift. This what happened here was a gift, which was really cool. Eng has its pops, right? Eng has its pops. For those of you that are new to Eng, it's an energy-based company. A very cool company. Does very cool stuff. They're coming to the Russell microcap, man. This is gonna be awesome. I didn't even see this one. So this is news. This from last week. I didn't even see this. Wow. Okay, Shabby owns 6.78%. A lot of people are talking about Eng. If Richard, I see your comment again. Can you tell me where you're seeing Eng from? I've never seen anyone talk about this until like today. Today now everyone's talking about Eng. So JG, I will talk about that, and I will tell you a funny story about Bumble. I got a funny story I want to share about that stock. Eng's got resistance at about a high of 381. How did it do today? Very good day, 358. So you'll probably test this resistance maybe tomorrow if enough volume is still there. If I remember correctly, this is a low float. Yeah, low float. No wonder it moves so well. It looks like it has more room to go, but again, protect yourself. Scale out on the way up. If you bought down here, scale out some here, and you have free shares to play with to see how high it goes. Now, I do believe there was some offerings in this area, so there might have been some dilution. So let me just take a look at Some SEC filings I can see for S3s, S1s. Passive stakes. Stakes are good. Nothing that I can see here. Hold on. I don't want to end up like the other thing and give you guys the wrong info. I'll load for a second. You do have a notice of effectiveness. This might be, yep, yeah. See, they had an offering in March, so that makes sense. Let me see how big it was. There's probably an 8K that followed it where they kind of said, "Hey, offering is closed." Might be what closed recently because this isn't a spotlight stock. Where it's like the spotlight stocks, the bigger ones, your bigger names like your Torchlight and stuff. Once they have an offering, those tend to close fairly quickly because there's a lot of inflow outflow. No, this is a corporate filing. Okay, I'm looking for like a newsletter. This letter is too. Okay, so here we go. Recognized laws of Nevada, basis correction proposed, placement agency S3 filing is documented delivered by the company and purchasers. The shares were purchased at an average share price of 280. Okay, so they did an offering at 280. How many shares? Yeah, I'm not reading that whole thing. Here we go. See, you can always get the abridged Cliff Notes version somewhere. So the company had an offer sale of 7 million shares. Again, nothing. Once you're playing with like these micro, I call these under 50, I call like micro baby caps. Like under 10, they're like baby floats. Like these are nothing. 27, it's 25 million floats, nothing. So I wouldn't even care about the offering. 2.8, very good. I mean, it's obviously above that, which is great. So congratulations. What was the date on this effectiveness note? March 19th. Yeah, there we go. There it is. This would probably cause no. So this was during, again, this drop here is when the whole market took a dunk. I'll keep it clean. Took a dunk here, and then we had a big pop here, and then on the 19th they issued their S13 in effect. So they filed an S13 and went into effect. Again, their stock price was in the fives, began to get quote unquote decimated, for lack of a better word. Start to see pops here, pop. It could do well. Again, I want to know, like, I'm not seeing any news. Let me see. Okay, here we go. What is this? Houston, Texas. A leading provider of innovative engineering modular solutions today reported that it's been selected to join the Russell 2000, the Russell Microcap Index. Okay, so the Microcap Index edition is what is causing the big jump in the stock, which is rightfully so. But you have to remember that post Microcap editions, shortly after, they do cool off. So keep that in mind if you're playing it. Play the pop, let it cool off. I promised Bumble. JG, my buddy said he signed up to use Bumble. And I said, I'm immediately going to start shorting the stock because you're going to destroy the company. Not as funny. It's one of those you had to be there, but I got a very good laugh out of it. Let's see. These guys are doing well, man. These guys are doing well. They dropped from their IPO price, which was expected based off the financials, but they're chugging along. I don't see why they wouldn't come back to this kind of this $60 area. And you see, have they done a? They have reported. They reported one earnings. Okay, end of the year. So you get something. Cash is up, which is good. Their cash, their total assets are up. Makes sense. I mean, whatever. Liabilities are essentially flat, a little bit higher, but not too bad. I'd imagine some loans were taken out during the COVID situation because, again, the app is useless during that time period, in my opinion, unless they're doing like video calls and chats. But that, again, I don't know. I've never used it, so I have no idea how it really works. Here we go. Gross profits were up. Fantastic. Revenue is up. Very good. Cost of revenue is up marginally for the big bump that it got. Not too bad. Again, you have to realize that these companies' cost of revenue comes from R&D, development of new features, all this other stuff that comes out. So cost of revenue going up isn't generally a bad thing. I'd like to see a decrease after a certain period of time if the product stagnates and flattens, but I still think this is a fairly newer product. Total expenses, that's a big jump. Operating expenses were up. Operating loss, net income, all right. So cash flow. big bump in depreciation and amortization. Cash is down. So they are, I don't know. I'm not liking, I don't remember. Now I remember why I didn't buy the IPO. I'm not a huge fan of their financials. I take back what I said. Hey, play it on technicals. Play it on technicals. Technicals are saying it still can keep going up, but again, look at if you bought down here, man. If you're a man, woman, whoever you are, JG, if you bought down here, scale out on the way up, and then you can reload if it comes down. You can play it again, like what I'm doing with Twitter, buying in, selling out, in, out, and or play options, buy commons and play options. And I don't know if Bumble has options trading, but here you go. PH, we talked about Apple a little bit earlier. So if you scrub forward, you'll be able to see it. Let's see, Muds. Someone asked about Muds. They're still a SPAC. So not MU. Muds. Mudrick Capital. Mudrick Capital too. They got a nice little bump today. They're doing fairly well. I mean, I think they're low. I don't know, but I looked at the deal once. The whole NFT craze died out, so the stock price kind of stagnated and fell as well. But it's still holding a dollar above NAV, which is good. 200 moving average is still holding. How do these guys have a 200 moving average? How long were they pre-SPAC? Wow, so these guys were essentially sitting in the pre-SPAC, pre-target SPAC area for a long time. I guess a rumor happened here, it popped, and then it was like, no, nothing's happening, went back down. Then this whole thing happened in April when the news came out about them merging with Tops and the NFT thing, and NFTs were hot, so it ran up to a high of about 1878. Now it's cooled off. It's kind of stair-stepped down. It's got a little pop today. We'll have to see how it plays out. It looks like it has some more room to go, but again, your 21 moving average is your resistance here, so it has to break that, and then maybe you can go to the next steps. But I don't know. These SPACs are coming back. If it's a good SPAC, if they've got revenue, if they're making money, if they've got a plan to expand and grow, they do well. Like look at SoFi, look at Maps, look at all these other ones. They're doing very well. Noah, I don't know what the ticker for that is. Shoot me the ticker. SI. Okay, I see. I'll go to it. I scrolled all the way down for some reason. I went all the way down, so I skipped a bunch. We did Bumble, we did Apple, Torchlight. A few people are asking about Torchlight, so I'll just do all of them in one shot. Torchlight. Woof, what happened here? Let me know. Let me see. This is the cool thing about Benzinga. They tell me up top what's going on. Energy Resources trading lower since he announced an amendment of the offering. Oh, they went from 100 million to 250. All right. That's going to take out some. So these guys need cash, right? They need cash. So it makes sense to do an offering once your stock is massively run up. It's a matter of with these kind of stocks, what's the raise at? Let me see. Ooh. Okay, no, he bought. Okay, so he exercised the option to buy shares. Sneaky fella right here. So these guys have the options to buy stock at a certain price. He snuck in here and said, all right, the stock is like $6, $7 now, so I'm going to buy some at my option and then immediately probably sell it very soon. I don't know if he has a lockup or not, but let's see. Torchlight Energy, an additional. Yeah, this is a 250. Prospectus, they've already sold the 11 mil. So it's probably going to be another 11 mil and then half of that, so another like 5.5. So it's not devastating, but when your float's over 100 mil at that point, you're not a low float anymore. So it's not that bad. As long as they're telling you what the money's being used for, offerings shouldn't be really feared, in my personal opinion. But this is a very hard chart to read because look, this is what happens when these charts run up. Like you have to isolate a certain portion of the chart, go into that certain time frame, and then play from there. But let's go to something like a 30-minute. Let me see what the 30 minutes telling me. So you see here, back when it was a $3 or $4 stock, it's got a massive run up. Your 200 moving on the 30-minute is your support, which it looks like it bounced right off of. Ripped through these again. We're on the 30-minute chart. We're not on the daily chart. Man, the $100 million offering was fine. Like no one cared. The market didn't care. It didn't even flinch. I think they should have just closed that one, waited a little bit, then done another 100 one, then done another 51. Because once you this is the thing. The eyes go from like you just 2.5x your offering, man. Like it's like, how much cash do you need? Let me see their financials. Let me see how much cash they have. I doubt they have much. Yeah, come on. You know these guys need cash. That's nothing. They need cash. They need it. If you're going to expand, you're going to grow. You need cash. You're going somewhere new. You want to walk in the door with some monies. So you want to go in there. You want to go in there and make some monies. You want to go in there with some monies. Torch down 33%. Mega material. Do you mean meta material? Yeah, metas. They haven't merged yet. So you got. I don't know what mega gamma. I don't know what that is. Give me the ticker. I'll take a look at it. Let me look at hold on. I might have to skip some. So this is what I'm going to do. Look, I only have the platform till 6 p.m. I'm going to go on my own YouTube channel. It's linked in. If you go to ryanstocks.com, it's linked there. So ryanstocks.com. I'll go. The first one is my YouTube. I'm going to go live there, and what we'll do is I'll just answer all your ticker questions there. So I run out of time here. We're going to jump on there at 6 o'clock. So just go there, hit subscribe, and we'll continue the conversation there because I don't want to go too long here. So we'll continue the conversation there. So just ryanstocks.com. First link is YouTube. I'll show you so you don't think like I'm trying to scam you or anything. ryanstocks.com. You click here. You click on the first tile. It'll take you to the YouTube channel. You hit subscribe. I can't subscribe to my own channel. You go to videos. If you go to live, upcoming live streams, it's going to be there. Like at 6:15, I'm going to go live. I'm going to talk about all this stuff. I'll probably bring on a guest. We'll talk. We'll talk about all your tickers. So we'll have some fun there. So if I miss yours, come over there and we'll chat. We'll have some fun there. ORF. Let's do ORF next. ORF is a hot one too, man. Torchlight, ORF, AMC, of course. I'm not crazy. I know AMC's kicking a booty. ORF. Bio stocks, man. Why do you guys always bring me the bio stocks? You guys know I don't know jack about bio stocks. Continue to trade lower on the continued weakness after the company last week received a complete response letter from the FDA. I don't know what that means. This is a good thing. I know they popped on like, hey, we got something's happening, and then they popped, and I was like, real quick. I hope you didn't buy up here. See, this is the thing. Look, if these things are running, unless you're a day trader, don't touch it. Unless you can day trade successfully, don't touch it. Because if you don't know how to day trade it, you can get stuck. And then take a look at this right here. Someone bought the stock at $77.77 and is now holding it. They don't have the opportunity to sell it at a higher price. So someone got stuck at $77.77. Don't be that person. I don't know how to analyze this one. So let's go to like a 30. This thing is just dropping. I don't know what a complete response letter. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. It's trading lower, so I guess it's bad. Again, I don't know bio stocks, so I apologize. I gotta educate myself more on bios. I'm trying to learn more about bio stocks so that I can answer these questions better. But I do apologize. That's not my forte. I'm not very good at them. CrowdStrike, baby. I like CrowdStrike. I'm in CrowdStrike, full disclosure. If I talk about a stock, if I'm in, I disclose it. Again, 6 o'clock, we'll be going live on my YouTube channel. Click on ryanstocks.com. You can go there and we will jam. We'll jam there. And by the way, if you're throwing tickers in there, do me a solid and hit the like button so we can kind of get the numbers up a little bit on this stream. I want to show these guys some love here, and we can definitely take it and we can have some fun. Give me 1 second. 6:15 p.m. Talking to the guy I'm trying to bring on to jam with us. CrowdStrike. Let's do it. Let's go into the chart. Now 30 minutes. Now. Hopefully this one is a higher flow. CrowdStrike's trading higher after. Does it say Stifler? Stifler gave us a price upgrade. Like probably 5 of you understand that joke. Upgraded the stock from a hold to a buy. Fantastic. Price talk. Wow, that's a big PT jump, man. How'd it do on that? CrowdStrike. Strike fast. CrowdStrike's a good one. CrowdStrike's another one that's misunderstood. we're living in a day and age where like cybersecurity is a huge thing. Everyone's talking about cyber. Cyber's the hot topic. You got that's why Palantir's so hot. You got Snow. I don't know. What does Snow do again? I want before I'll come back to Strike in a second. I promise. What does Snow do? Snowflake. OW. I mean, you can't know all the stocks. That's why these tools come in handy. Data Lake Warehousing, sharing company. Company owns 3,000 customers, infrastructure, analytics. It's an analytics company, essentially. And let's see some of their peers. I wonder if CrowdStrike comes up here. No peers. Look at you. You guys really are a snowflake. Unique. Right, CrowdStrike. See, Crowd comes in with Oracle, Microsoft, and all these other guys. I think CrowdStrike to me is somewhere between a Snow and a Palantir, but closer to a Palantir than a Snow. It's got a lot of momentum. Look, you got a big volume jump here. You had a big spike in the chart, about 7.96. It's continuing to rally in the after hours. It hit resistance at 257.55, which is fair. Take a look at this. The previous high was at 251. It ripped through that. Didn't even care. You hit a 52-week high. I like it. I like this stock long term. To me, this is a good stock. Let's take a look at their financials real quick. Cash, lower. That's all right. Total assets, higher. Good. Again, you should be doing this in much more detail. Again, this is freehand. Liabilities are also up. All right. Their common stock. All right. See their income statement. Revenues are up. Costs marginally up. Gross profits up. Fantastic. Operating expenses up, but not too much. Total operating income or loss. They're still operating at a loss. Imagine these guys go positive. That'd be fantastic. Why did it go down so? Now I know why they dropped, because this number dropped heavily. Look at this. It went from negative 15 to negative 31. You doubled your losses. What happened? Hold on. All right. Tax provision, net income, negative 85 mil. Yeah, they got to become profitable. Once these guys become profitable, they become a monster. That 300 becomes in range once they become profitable. I think maybe there's some signs of them becoming profitable. Maybe that's why this price target was given, but we'll have to see. So we are winding down 1 minute. So again, as stated previously, come over to is ORF dead money? I don't know, man. I don't know enough about ORF to comment on it personally. Yeah, Richard got it. Richard, my man. So guys, come on over to ryanstocks.com. It's we're gonna go live. I'll switch it from 6:15 to now. We're going to go live. I'm going to see if I can bring Larry on to chat with us and have some fun. If not, I'll just talk to you all and we'll just do some ticker talk through this whole process and we'll jam. I just want to keep this conversation going. I'm having fun, but I don't want to disrespect the network's time frame. So I'm going to end this here in 15 seconds. Again, go to ryanstocks.com. You click on the first thing. You come here. You go to videos. You click this drop down, upcoming live streams. I'll put let me see if I can put the link in there. In the thing, and we're not going to go to. I know again, if there was a program after me on here, I would have definitely not done this. But I know that these guys are empty until 7, so we're going to end at 7. So I'm going to redirect you right back to Benzinga at 7. So come join me on this stream. We'll have fun. We'll keep the conversation going. It's literally the same setup. So I'm just going to flip and we're going to come back on board. So thank you so much for watching. Come on board. Click on that link. Come with me. Let's jam. Let's party. Let's do it. I'll keep same setup. Just bring your tickers over and we'll jam. All right. I'll see you guys in like 3 minutes. I'm going to go get some. I have some more. So I don't even need water. See you guys in like 3 minutes. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.